avoiding him. Like I said, I'm going to get these belts over here, then I'm going to come take Terence Crawford belt because I said I'm going to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So the only way to make that happen is to take his belt. So, I mean, nobody's avoiding him.
Can we be done with everybody else but Terence Crawford? Can we just do Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford?
I mean, that could happen. We got to see how it go. But, you know, like I said, I can move up to 160 and fight Canelo Alvarez.
Look, I want to get to that.
Who mans is this? Get him the fuck out of here.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel. You know what I mean? So y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Tim Bradley calls Errol Spence a duck. You know what I mean? Tim Bradley says what the entire world should know about Errol Spence and Team Errol Spence, that they don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford, and they've been doing everything in their power over the last 5 years in order to get away from this fight, right? Nevertheless, I digress. Because y'all know what your boy King David thinks, right, about Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence been ducking Bud Crawford for the last 5 years. And been saying it for the last 5 years, right? But let's take a listen to what Tim Bradley got to say about Errol Spence. Check it out.
Thurman, what do you think about this fight at 154, not for the titles? Do you think that harms Errol Spence, his legacy?
Man, Errol Spence running for trouble. He running like a son of a gun. He getting the hell out of Dodge.
Finally, somebody calling it like it is. You know what I mean? Errol Spence is running. He running from Terence Bud Crawford. He running. Somebody calling it like it is out there in the mainstream media. You know what I mean? I'm glad that this happened now, and this needs to happen more, because these fighters that duck, dodge, maneuver, and pivot out of the way, out of the fights that we want to see, need to be called out for the bullshit, right? And I know Errol Spence fans are going to have a problem with Tim Bradley. Oh, Tim Bradley, he's with ESPN. He's a top rank. He's friends with Bud Crawford. Does that make anything that he said less true? Does Tim Bradley's affiliations have anything to do with any of the bullshit that was coming out of Errol Spence's mouth for the last 5 years? Does his affiliations have anything to do with Errol Spence saying that Bud needed to get a belt first? Or that he needed to take the easy route first? Or that Bud was on the wrong side of the street? Or 60-40, 70-30, 80-20? Or his trainer most recently saying that yesterday's price ain't today's price? Even though the deal on the table was trash to begin with, 35% with no guarantee and no transparency. You know what I mean? But let's keep it going though.
There's the only fight that you said that you wanted, man. That's the fight that you said that you wanted. That's the fight that you said that you was going to deliver to the fans. After you won the 3 titles, bro. It's been a long time, bro. You straight up lied. Straight up.
Tim Bradley cooking with gas, y'all. I say Tim Bradley cooking with gas, y'all. You know what I mean? Everything that he said just now is facts. And it don't matter who he's affiliated with. Everything that he said could be substantiated with evidence, y'all. Errol Spence being a liar. The man said that he spent the last 5 years collecting these quote-unquote belts on his side of the street. Also, he can become undisputed, but as soon as he's at his goal, as soon as he's at the prize, he decides to move up to 154 pounds at the drop of a hat, right? And then on top of that, He said he's trying to collect all of these belts, but you fight Mikey and Danny with no belt. Liar. Errol says he's not going to fight Keith Thurman. Take the L out of Lover is over. When I said never, I meant never. Nevertheless, his next fight is Keith Thurman. I mean, straight liar. Straight liar. You said you wanted to become undisputed, but obviously it ain't that important to you. Right? You said you was going to give the fans an undisputed fight, but the best deal y'all can come up with is 35% with no guarantee and no transparency. Right? Errol said he was going to spin the block, yet all we hear about is Errol Spence making a fight with Keith Thurman, while this entire time he could be negotiating with a Bud Crawford for the exact same date. You know what I mean? Hell, even if Errol Spence is gonna still fight Keith Thurman in April, May, or June, why in the hell can't he start the negotiation process with a Bud Crawford right now for right afterwards? I tell you why, because he don't want no smoke. Right? But let's keep going though. Let's hear what what else Tim Bradley got to say.
Now you won't get caught out for it. Not by just me, but the fans as well. Because Crawford just fought. Now he's gonna come back and he's gonna have a fight. But how the hell you gonna go up to 54 and then come back down to 147 pounds to face Crawford?
Right again, Tim Bradley telling it like it is. How you gonna move up to 54 and then come back down to 47 for the biggest fight of your life? When does that ever work in boxing? Who does that in boxing? Why would you go up to why would you fight at 154 to prepare for a fight at 147? That don't make no sense. The fact of the matter is, Earl's going up to 154, but the chances of him coming back down to 147 are slim to none, and y'all know that, right? Y'all know that. But let's keep it going though.
Isn't one of your brothers that's in camp with you? Isn't he at 54 as well? You just going up there for what? Because Thurman can't make the weight, or is it you that can't make the weight? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's...
God damn, another good point by Tim Bradley, man. Tim Bradley cooking with gas, y'all. Jamal Charlo's at 54. So what does Earl hope to accomplish at 154 pounds? Is he gonna fight Jamil Charlo? Is that what's gonna happen? Is that what you're gonna do? Because the chances of that happening are once again slim to none. So what the fuck you doing up there? Right? What you doing up there besides wasting time? Besides holding up the division at 147 pounds by fighting for a belt at 154 pounds? What are you doing? Right? Tim Bradley cooking with gas, bro. But let's keep it going though.
But the fight that we all want to see, the fight that we've been waiting on, we've been waiting on Crawford and Spence. All along, everybody saying it's Top Rank's fault. Oh, Top Rank, you signed with the my promoter, you signed with the wrong promoter. Giving hell to Crawford.
Oh my goodness. Tim Bradley going in. I say Tim Bradley going in right now, bro. You know what Tim Bradley talking about? Tim Bradley's talking about the years and years that Errol Spence made up the excuse that he was on the wrong side of the street. He was on the other side of the street. He was on the other side of the street and the fight couldn't happen. Right? For years and years and years, Bud was on the wrong side of the street. The fight couldn't happen. It was blame Bob. We don't want to work with Bob. All this bullshit. Even though we got Tom Brown saying,
it's the fighters. It's always the fighters. When they ask for something and it's a fight that can be made, we're going to go do it. We've worked with Top Rank, many times in the past, and it seems like the relationship's just been getting better and better.
And if you don't like that, we got Deontay Wilder saying,
Al don't hold back his fighters on things. He may give his suggestion on this and that or whatever, but pretty much who we want, we gonna get.
Yet and still, according to Errol Spence and his fans, the fight couldn't happen because Bud Crawford was on the wrong side of the street. But we know what it is. The goalpost has moved several times since then, and it's gonna continue to move because Errol Spence don't want no smoke with a Terence Bud Crawford. But let's keep it moving now.
Now Crawford came up and said it on the audio, basically saying in an interview he did, you know, putting out, I think on IG or one of these social media platforms, saying that, bro, I had the money for us. I had the money secured. And obviously Al Heyman is in total control of Errol Spence. Crawford is his own boss. But he had the money to pay 20 racks, 20 million. And he didn't. He didn't take it because he can't move unless Al Heyman says, hey, boy. Nah.
More facts from the future Hall of Famer Tim Bradley. And for those of you who don't know, Tim Bradley's talking about this.
Back and ask Al for permission, you know, if he can, you know, take this big chunk of lump sum of money to fight Terence Crawford, which he didn't call me back, so I proposed it to Al. I hit up Al, I'm like, Al, listen, you know, man, I got this big hedge fund company out here, you know, they claim they know you, not one but two. Not one, but two. You know what I mean? Two companies willing to put 20 plus million in both of our pockets, guaranteed. Al tell me straight up, I'm not letting nobody touch this fight.
Y'all heard the pound for pound king? Errol Spence gotta ask Al Heyman whether or not he could take $25 million, which is several times more than Errol Spence has made in his entire career. Right? But Errol Spence wants to fight. Alright? Errol Spence wants to fight, and all he was trying to do was collect all his belts on his side of the street. You know what I mean? Tim Bradley spitting nothing but facts out here on these streets, man. Not only is Earl not his own boss like he claimed he was, but it turned out $25 million for an undisputed matchup, something that he claimed he wanted anyway. Also, he could move up to 154 pounds and fight Keith Thurman. That's literally what we're looking at here. But let me let Tim continue to cook like he been cooking.
Keith Thurman still got some power, still got some athleticism, although he is older. And it seems like he's mentally together and he wants an opportunity, but it's just a fight. Ain't no belt connected to it. You say you want to be a champion, or you just fight. That's all it is, and it's just for money at the end of the damn day. So, is it for the belt or is it for the money? It's for the money. You know, and I've said this all along.
Tim Bradley made a solid point with that, but I'm going to take it a step further. He took it to one level, but I'm going to take it to the next level right here. Because Errol Spence and his fans, they like to make all these different excuses and come up with all these different reasons from why Errol Spence shouldn't have fought Bud Crawford up until now. They talk about how the Mikey fight and the Danny fight were money fights. They talk about how the Ugas fight and the Sean Porter fight were unification fights, right? They say shit like, Errol Spence was unifying the belts. He was unifying the belts, KD. Errol Spence was going after the money. There was big money in the Danny Garcia fight, KD. That's what these niggas always coming back to me with, right? But the fact of the matter is, a Terence Bud Crawford fight offers you both in spades, right? Out of everybody that Errol Spence has fought thus far, none have had the ability to be able to produce more revenue than a Terence Bud Crawford fight, right? None. And then when you want to talk about belts, Earl needed to collect all these belts. I don't know why it seems to always elude you niggas But Terence Bud Crawford got a belt, right? So you niggas come up with these excuses for why Bud can't fight or why Errol can't fight a Terence Bud Crawford, because he's chasing money and he's chasing a belt. But Bud Crawford always offered both for an Errol Spence Jr., but yet and still the nigga still refused to get in the ring with a Terence Bud Crawford, right? He still chose to go the other way, right? And y'all really got the nerve to ask why we say Errol Spence is the biggest duck in professional boxing. But I'm gonna wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.